Welcome to First Impressions, where we give you our initial thoughts on comics, video games, movies, or whatever. My name is Carl Lee.
And I'm Jaysen Headley.
And today we're going to give you our first impressions of comics July 2nd, 2014.
Great, so our rating system we've changed a little bit, and this is what we've been doing for the past couple of weeks. We're now out of a 5-star system. That's 2 stars for writing, 2 stars for artwork, and 1 very special star in case we just think it needs 1 extra for the kicks of it.
Bump it up.
Yes, in case it needs to be bumped up.
That's right. Alright, let's hit it. This is what we got this week.
Alright, starting off.
Batman Eternal numbered, what, 13?
I don't know, 18? 13.
13! I can't remember it. I read this really early, and I can't remember it anymore.
Remember. You know something? Yeah. I thought this was actually one of the more solid issues of Batman Eternal. It was really, I think it was solid because the storytelling was very coherent in it, and we only were really following 2 or 3 storylines, as opposed to certain Batman Eternal issues where we're following like 8 storylines at one time. And I really liked everything we were following. I liked this whole Clue Master thing. They really hit an emotional note with that Stephanie Brown moment where her friend gets... yeah, what do you think?
I still don't really remember the issue anymore, but I think, yes, I enjoyed it. And I made a note that, is the second artist an actual second artist, or was he the inker? Because I actually couldn't see the difference between the 2 artists, which is nice because it's more seamless, which is great. Yeah. And who doesn't like James Gordon Jr.? I mean, I was kind of sad that he died, so I'm kind of glad the Snyder's like, no, we kind of need to bring him back.
Yeah, I liked that.
You know, I built that character, and he was creepy, scary, and brilliant, and then we kind of killed him, but let's bring him back. And Stephanie Brown is a very nice character to have in this
She's very, in a lot of ways, she's the star of Batman Eternal for me. Like, she's really the heart and focus, and she's one of the only characters that's been in almost every single issue. So.
It's like watching a show. It's like, I like that whole little thing, what is it, Bard? What's his name? Bard and Vicky Vale and whatever, they were doing that whole little trick to get Batman, but really was to get the other mob gang members.
Yeah, what'd you rate it?
3 stars.
I gave it a 3 as well. Pretty solid week, nothing to blow my mind, but it was a solid Batman Eternal. Next up, Earth 2.
Earth 2 number 25. I mean, look at this cover. It's so beautiful.
It's a good cover.
Love. And they're really pushing it right now. They're like, you should get this if you haven't read past, whatever. And it is an awesome issue, and it's been really great. I actually started it from the beginning, and I stopped, the series, I stopped probably around issue 6, believe it or not. And then I picked it back up around 16, 17, where the new Batman showed up, and I was like, what's that? I'm sure a lot of other people started picking up then. And I haven't stopped picking it up since, because it's non-stop, just great stuff. I don't know, I can't recommend it more. The art's so consistent and great, Nicole Scott. And I don't know, it's just really awesome and epic things happening here that are like, whoa, really? And it's great that it's part of like the New 52 and not like an Elseworld, even though it's a parallel universe, but we know what's gonna happen in about a year, right? We know what's gonna happen.
What'd you give it?
I give it a 5.
Wow, pretty good. All right, 5 stars. All right, next up is a brand new book, Enormous by Tim Daniel.
Yes, Enormous number 1.
Gosh.
I have initial thoughts.
I mean, my thing with this book, first of all, I'm going to say the art is so good that at times it's so much in a single panel that you can't tell what's going on because there's so much detail in a panel that's this big that I don't know what's happening.
It's part of also the effects that they're putting on top of it.
There's lens flare.
Yeah, there's lens flare, and there's lots of effects, but for me, I just ended up having like pull up to the paper and be like, wait, what is that? What's happening? Where is that? What part of the... Like, it's almost like they used film and they were taking different angles and shoot from this angle to that angle, and I kind of got confused and like, I wasn't sure what was what. Which is unfortunate. I didn't know if it was because I didn't have enough lighting to read it or something, but the art is beautiful.
I mean, it's amazingly gorgeous. It's like watching a Transformers movie, but without Michael
Bay.
But for me,
the writing, the story just did not grab me. It just didn't do anything for me. It was just a little kind of slow and whatever, and I don't know. I mean, maybe the second issue will look great, and I'll take a look at it again, and maybe it'll draw me in, but based on the story alone...
What'd you give it?
What did I give it? 2. Well, no, I give it a 1 actually.
Oh, okay.
It's actually a 1.5, but I can't do half stars, so it's really just a 1.
Okay. Well, so the writing for me, the first like 5 or 6 pages, I was almost ready to give up. I was like, oh, what's going on? I don't care. What's happening? I just don't care. But the second that the main storyline with this girl and her mom and all of that took off and the action, I really, really liked it. I really liked it. It was like a really good action blockbuster movie.
It really was.
And the art, though at times so detailed I couldn't follow it, was still really, I mean, you just don't get art this quality in many comic books. Like, it's a small percentage that has art that is up to par with this. I won't be surprised if another issue of this doesn't come out for like 3 months, given how much pain and work goes into this artwork. So I actually give it a 4.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It really was like a movie, though. I just couldn't get sold on it, but the mom thing was a nice touch. I just didn't like how things were happening.
The opening was weak, though. So give it past the first 5 pages if you're going to read it. Cool, so next up is Figment by Jim Zub. This is Figment number 2. What can I say? I feel like every week we come up here and I talk about a book that's really great for family and kids, but this is another one of them. This is a great book for family. It's a great book for kids. The artwork is superb, and not only is it superb, it's freaking adorable. Look at that dog bird thing. Like, that showed up and I squealed because it was so cute. Like,
really did.
I can't deal with how cute this book is. And not only that, but the story is all about imagination and wonder, and it's so wonderful. I gave this a 4. I loved it. If you need something to read with the family, pick up Figment. It's great. Really great.
That's great.
Loved it. Next up?
Green Arrow 32. This is a blind buy because I am so not caught up in this book, but I just buy it anyway.
Great.
Because I liked it when I was reading it, and I'm going to catch up now.
Cool. Next up is Iron Fist number 4. This is actually my favorite issue of this book so far. It really slowed down. A lot of this book has done a lot of time jumping and crazy stuff, and this had a little bit of that, but not nearly as much. It was a really like character-focused issue, just really dealing with Iron Fist and this girl who's into him, and most of the scene took place in a bedroom with the two of them just in bed together, talking, and it was great. Right? Yeah. But yeah, I really liked it, and I've said this since the first issue of Iron Fist. The art is superb. I gave this a 4.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nailbiter 3. Well, normally I would drop books like this because even though, I like it and it's pretty consistent, I'm just thinking, well, if it's not in the universe that I normally read, sometimes I drop them because there's just too much that comes out. But I did get this anyway because I did enjoy it, and so I made it to the 3rd issue, and it's still as good as the 2nd issue, which I thought was really kind of smooth, and it was nicely paced, and it was creepy, but not crazy creepy, not like Outcast was. But there's some kind of like small town creepy murder mystery type of thing going on, and it was really kind of easy to read. It was like having a cup of coffee in the middle of the woods in the dark where it's really creepy. I don't know, but it was enjoyable. I liked it. The art is consistent. I liked it, and I love this. There's something very cinematic about this whole scene here where like the lights are on, the lights are off, the lights are on, the lights are off, and it was kind of creepy. And so I liked it a lot. I'll probably give it one more try, and I gave it a 3.
3, awesome. Did you read this? Original Sin?
What is that? Yes, Original Sin 5. I really enjoyed 3 and 4, so I picked up 5, and this issue was really, really solid. It was just the history of Nick Fury, and it really reminded me of Hickman's work. His whole like S.H.I.E.L.D. and history of S.H.I.E.L.D. type of thing, and totally kind of fits into that, except it's not the history of S.H.I.E.L.D. at all. It's this whole other thing with Nick Fury that no one's ever known about, which is like the protector of the universe practically, not really, but it was really kind of cool like that, and the art is awesome. Very, very consistent, great solid book. I gave it a 4.
Great. All right, next up is Rocket Raccoon, issue number 1. This was for me the biggest surprise of the week because a lot of times when books like this come out that are about one character from a team, we usually laugh and don't buy them. But this was great. It was really funny. I love that it doesn't take itself very seriously. It's basically about Rocket Raccoon like going on a date, and then he's wanted for murder, and then you kind of find out who's behind the murder, which even or who's behind setting him up, and even that is really funny. The artwork, though, in this book is really the star. The artwork is gorgeous, it is fun, it is colorful, it's great. I really highly recommend it. Like I said, it's hilarious. I gave this a 4, though really close to a 5 for me, but I want to give it another issue to see if it gets to 5. But really big surprise. Great.
I'll have to read it.
Miles Morales, Ultimate Spider-Man. 3, yeah. I like this issue, but I still feel like we're doing a lot of talking about things and talking about doing things, but we're not actually doing those things. We're just talking about it a lot. Though there were some really good moments. I love Miles Morales telling his girlfriend that he's Spider-Man and then she ran away. I love Maria Hill coming to find Spider-Man and he runs away from her as well. Like, he's doing a lot of running away from girls, which I think is kind of funny for this character. As usual, the artwork is fan-freaking-tastic. I just would like to... There's more things happening now, finally, which is nice. You know, we're getting some Green Goblin up in there. But a lot of it, even in the story, Miles Morales said, this is where Spider-Man died because Green Goblin killed him, and then Green Goblin shows up. Like, there's a lot... I feel like it's a lot of rehashing, and what's worse is that Bendis is kind of telling me that he's rehashing it, which is a little obnoxious.
This is for new.
Right, but it's a little annoying. Like, don't blatantly spit out that you're rehashing, because that's what you're doing. So for me, I gave it a 3, but I do still like the series a lot.
Hola. Superman Unchained number 7. Neither of us read this. This is a blind buy. I read issue 1. He read issue 1. Right?
Yeah, we're not.
We have not.
But we will.
But we buy it anyway, just because.
I love what they do with the word with the Superman Unchained logo, though. I think that's great. That's great.
Yeah, the art looks great, so we bought it. Tech Jacket 1. Okay, this is from the Invincible Universe, and I try it sometimes, and then I give up. Try it and give it up, and I probably wouldn't buy any more Invincible Universe stuff, but I'm buying it because of Joe Keating. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right.
I think so.
Because, you know, we've been liking some of his work, like Shudder, and I did like Glory. And hell yeah. And I thought, okay, wait, let's look at the art. The art is very, very cute and charming. And it's very standard space story. It's already, like, everything's already established, powers, everything. And he goes up in space, and I really like the character of the father. He's really, really kind of charming and likable, and I actually like the father the most. It's almost like they switched roles between, like, son and father. The father's kind of like the big kid. And it does seem kind of fun, and it could be good, but again, I don't know if that'll bring me back necessarily. But because Joe Keating's writing it, I might try it a little more. I know it might get a little weird or get really kind of interesting, so I might try it again. But otherwise, other than that, I don't know. It really hasn't sold me.
What'd you give it?
I gave it a 2.
Cool. All right, and finally, last book of the week is The Woods, number 3. What do you think?
Oh, yeah, right. I had to look this over a second time. It's almost like Saga 20 last week, where I was like half asleep reading it. This time I was not half asleep reading it, but I was slightly detached reading it, almost as if I was looking into a flashback of my life or something like that. So it didn't really like settle in, so I had to look through it again to go through the points, the beats. I don't know. I mean, the characters are still there and the pacing is still nice, but there was something that really confused me between like where the characters went and why they didn't come back and kind of stuff like that, which really took me away from liking it for some reason. But when I figured it out, it made more sense and I liked it. But there's one thing. I didn't understand why there was no urgency of, oh my god, my friend's being attacked over there. Okay, let's talk over here while he's being attacked. That happened! Did that not happen?
No, but they thought that he was killed. Like, they ran away to a clearing because they thought he'd been killed.
Yes, yeah. But then some of the other friends were also gone. And, I mean, I can understand it's just the way I'm reading it, and if it were performed, it was on TV or something, or a movie, it might be a little different, but still it kind of made me, like, think, wow, somebody just died, hello? You know, like, you know what I mean? I just felt like, yeah, sure, some of them were scared, but it just felt like some of it was a little detached. But otherwise, the dialogue is still there, and it's still good, but for some reason, I didn't connect to it as much.
So I really, really like this book. I felt kind of opposite that you did. I love the writing. Again, I love the artwork. Everything in this book worked really well for me this week. I just love where this story is going. This really feels like a story that I'm gonna be reading for a while. I want to know more about this world. I want to know more about these characters. I love that it seems like we're kind of getting into like some more LGBT characters as well, which I'm always a fan of. Nice. And this was actually my favorite book of the week. I gave it a 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. So, what was your favorite book of the week?
I didn't like the bears though.
Oh, the bears. Are the best.
My favorite book of the week. I mean, it has to be Earth 2, number 25. That's the only thing I give a 5.
All right.
I never give 5s out.
I know, that's scary. I'm worried. All right, guys. Well, that is our poll for the week. Let us know what you're pulling. Is there something we should be reading that we're not reading? Do we need to get caught up on something that's just so freaking amazing that we need to read it? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure to like and subscribe, and tell your friends, and let us know. Last week we did do a review of a comic that was just on Kickstarter. So if you're doing a webcomic or a comic series or anything like that, and you want us to review it, please, by all means, let us know. We're more than happy. Yeah. Anything else?
No.
Great.
Thanks for checking us out.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Set! Quiet on the set! 5, 4...
How did that come from? Initial thoughts.
Cut! Cut! Alright, take 2. Who left the AC on? Cut! Take 3. Alright, rolling!